Welcome to the Dialed In Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we're going to talk about men's mental health in particular and how toxic relationships also play a really big role in that and how it can positively and negatively affect you. You know, men and self, we're very, very different. Um, you know, me, myself, I'm not trying to speak for all men, but, I've had a handful of conversations with a lot of my friends and a lot of them who are guys. And, we're reaching an older age and we've all been in those high school relationships. A lot of them, it took a really negative effect on them. A lot of them got depressed afterwards. The girl would be very manipulative, or she'll just tell them something and it'll just imprint into their brain, and that's all they think about. And that's what I kind of want to talk about today. Just talk to those guys, have them feel like they're not alone because, I went through it too. I'm going to talk about a little bit what I went through, but I kind of just want to talk about in the whole, just, you're not the only one. If you're in a relationship right now, you're going through something, it's really tough, it's really toxic. And I'm going to kind of talk about what toxic is and, some signs of it and, how maybe you can solve it. But if you're going through something like that, just keep pushing. If you're really angry with your significant other or you're really angry at a situation, don't take it to your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts do the talking. I know some of us, like myself, have really deep thoughts and dark thoughts. So, don't let them win. If you're angry, go on a walk, punch a pillow. But, you can work out. Girls do makeup. Find nails, dresses, design clothes, do whatever you can to just get your mind off the situation. Because the worst thing you can do as a human is to just keep thinking about and dwelling on something that just happened to you. And, that's just, it's not going to lead to anything but harm to yourself or others in just a negative scenario that really nobody wants to be in. And I don't want to see you guys in that. With that being said, though, men are very different. We have insecurities like everybody else, but we tend to hide them. Same thing with our problems. Same thing with anything that's thrown at us. We deal with it right then and there, and then we put it away. Because if we hold on to it, we will think about it the whole day, or for however long. It'll affect our mood. It'll affect what we do. We might not eat. And it could be the smallest thing. For instance, yesterday I was out doing something and, I got the wrong thing and I came home, and I was out for like an hour, this and that. But I got so upset at myself. I was like, all I had to do was look at the tag and go in the dressing room. All I had to do was just go and try it on. Right. That's it. All I had to do was try it on. But instead I got lazy. I brought it home, thinking it would fit. Now it doesn't fit. So I just I beat myself up like, dude, you're an idiot. All you had to do was really just go and try it on, but you took the easy road. So, small things like that, and that will sit with you. So when you're talking to somebody, especially a guy, just be careful what you say. Like if you call him idiot so many times, you tell him he's annoying, you keep calling him ugly or fat, it's going to go into his brain. Now he's going to start believing what he's being told, and that's not how anybody should live. If you're going to tell anybody anything, tell them something positive. And if you have something negative to say, just don't say it at all. And I know that's cliche shit, but it's the truth. I mean, it's the God's honest truth. If you have anything to say at all, at least have it be something positive, or just give them a smile. That's it. If you want to judge somebody, judge them in your head, but do it without words. And just keep walking. You don't have to put somebody else down because you think it's funny or you find something, something that they're wearing that you can pick out. You just don't have to pick on people. There's no point of it. Also, I will say, when it comes to men's health, especially myself, I've been put in a lot of situations where I've had, a lot of people turn on me, a lot of friends I've lost due to like violence, a lot of family member arguments and a lot of things said to me, but if I just sat there and just dwelled on it, if I just keep thinking about it, like if I sit here right now and I just think of every single thing that happened to me, and unfortunately, a lot of stuff happened, but it happens to everybody. It's life. But, I think about it, everything that happened to me, I'd get super upset. I'd have thoughts roll in that, are the unthinkable. And you'd get to that mindset. You'd be like, all right, well, I went through all this. It doesn't matter anymore, right? It's what happens with our minds. But that's when you have to beat it, because think about it. You went through all of that. Like, let me say that again. Your mind says, oh, we went through all this. It doesn't matter, right? But it does matter, because those first words, we went through all of this. You did. You went through all of that. That time that you were sitting in your room, you really wanted to cut yourself. You were thinking about, just taking it even further, just doing anything, wanted to take pills. You're mad at somebody and now you want to take revenge. Somebody just happened to you. Like, I've had situations like that, but there's a point in your life where you have to be the bigger person. Like, is it really worth it? If you're in a situation right now and somebody comes and does something to you, is it worth it to go do it back? Is it worth it for them to end up dying and then now their family having to suffer and you sit in a cell? Is it worth it of you dying? Is it worth it of both of you sitting in a cell? It isn't. Money is so replaceable and so are items. A life isn't. And, people don't really look at that nowadays. We kind of all look at lives as replaceable and items as irreplaceable. And it's really bullshit. It's a random scenario. You're going shopping, you come out the mall and somebody takes all your clothes. What are you going to do? Chase them down and potentially have them pull a gun on you and you get shot? Or you just be like, all right, fuck it. That was $300. That's all right. I'll just go make it back. Like, there's certain moments where you have to be the bigger person and just walk away, because it's not worth the mess you're about to get into. And that's especially for men, because we all have, we have ego battles, basically. Like, if you realize it or not, if you want to admit it, you walk into a room and you see like this grown dude, you're definitely gonna not on weird shit, but you're gonna connect eyes. You're gonna be like, all right, what's he on? Like, do I know him? Where's he from? What's he wearing? Does he got any certain thing? Like, it depends where you are. But like, where I was from, like, you go and you be like, all right, does he have a flag? Does it look like he's got anything on him? I was from Maryland, so even before COVID, everybody was wearing those Pooh Shiesty ski masks. Before Pooh Shiesty even became a rapper, everybody was wearing those masks. No matter where you were in a store, middle of summer, and way before COVID, everybody was wearing masks. So it was normal in Maryland because everybody was already masked up. So, you would question anything already. But, especially for men, we have these ego battles. So whenever you walk in that room and you're like, all right, I want to see what he's on, this and that, I want to get that kind of energy. And you can feel that, like, at least I can. Like, when I walk into a room, it's all about energy. And, as a man, there's a point in your life where you have to realize what battles you want to pick. Like, you can't just walk into a party and be like, all right, bet, I'm the big shit. I got this big ego. Nobody's going to touch me. Because that's when the devil grabs you by the fucking leg. It says, psych, bitch, I'm pulling you down. And then that's when you end up, something happens to you. You get in a car accident, God forbid. You end up getting hurt by somebody coming in and shooting you, robbing you. Like, can't be greedy when it comes to stuff like that. You got to watch your ego. You got to watch what you say to people. You got to watch what you do. And, it can just positive and negatively affect somebody mentally, especially, man, because, when you're in that type of state where you're walking the streets every single day, trying to get from work, or you're just chilling with your homies, and now you got to realize, all right, is somebody going to come up behind me? Do I go in this corner store? Do I go in the store? Is there another way out? What if somebody comes in right through? Like, somebody I know that I'm beefing with, they come to the store and now I'm cornered. What if they up on me? Like, so much shit goes through your head in that scenario. And then when you go back home, it's just another day. Like, it's just another day. It's so normal. And that needs to be talked about more, because at the end of the day, when you move out of that, it takes a toll on you. And I could talk about that from experience, because I came from a place where I was constantly watching my back. I constantly had to watch my surroundings. And when I moved out to the place I am, I don't have to walk around. I can walk around safely. Like, I can walk around at night. I can do whatever I want and be okay. Nobody's going to run up on me or anything like that. But that doesn't mean I keep my guard down. Like, you always have your guard up, but there's certain things that you learn and certain things that you develop. And that can, like I said, it can be very positive and negative for your mental health, because I know other people that have moved from that shit and they're like, yo, I can't do it. Like, I'm just too used to chaos. I'm too used to crazy. And they move back into it and they just, that's how they crash out. And unfortunately, they end up in prison, or even worse, because they just are so used to the chaos. and they feel so abandoned and left out when they're out in the real world because they don't know anything else, you know? And it's happening to a lot of our men. A lot of my friends, they're going through some shit right now. I've hit friends up. I send them money and shit because, I'm a very humble person. If you really know me, if you need something, I will give it to you. Like if I will really get my clothes off the back for somebody. That's just how I am as a person. I'm not trying to, brag or anything, but that's just who I am, right? It doesn't matter who you are. If I see a homeless person, I'm gonna make sure he eats. He can do what he wants with the money, but at least I know he got some money. Now his decision is his decision, right? That's a whole different story. That's his whole angels and devils. So with that being said, I kind of just want to, just talk about the toxicity of a relationship. You know, I was in a relationship at the end, this is going to sound crazy, but I was in the relationship from like eighth grade to, I want to say, junior year of high school. So I was in a pretty long relationship. And we had like a couple off and on, and I'm going to say this right now. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to bring up, anybody because I don't want anybody to, get any hate or anything. We're all on good terms, but it was a big part of my life. I was impacted in multiple ways, in multiple serious ways. And for me not to talk about it, that'd just be suppressing me. I went through a lot, and so did that other person. And I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to bring anybody down, but I'm here to just talk about what I went through because I know what I went through, somebody else went through, and I just want to make people aware of that. I just want to make people aware. I don't want somebody to go sending clips be like, oh, he's talking about so and so and this and that. I'm not. I'm talking about the situation that happened or situations that did happen that led me to certain things. And, I just want to reflect on those and how I kind of got out of it because it was a big part of my life, like I said, to kind of just erase all of that and think about it never happened, especially to what we're about to talk about, would just be very disrespectful to myself. So, with all that being said, I was in a relationship from eighth grade to about junior year. And I was off and on. It really wasn't off and on too much. Maybe 2, 3 times throughout the whole time. And it started off really good all the time, hanging out every day. Went to the same school. It was awesome. Did everything together. I will say, at the time, it was like the worst time to have a relationship too, right? Because like both of our hormones are going. My testosterone is going. We're both going through the roof. We don't know what's going on. We're both having emotions going like everywhere. We can't control anything. We don't understand it. We're young as hell. So what we went through was not a lot of people go through that because we really liked each other. We really did, and we wanted to hold on to that. But the time that we picked it was just it was a terrible time. And, I'm so happy for her now. She's got everything going. I'm happy with the guy she's with. He's a great dude. So, with all that being said, we, around the third or fourth year, I'd say, it started getting really toxic, like we wouldn't agree on stuff. There really wasn't any trust. Like we promised ourselves that there was trust, but there wasn't. And, when you're in a relationship like that, you really have to sit down with your significant other and just be like, do we really trust each other? Because words really can just be words. There's certain times, I don't want to get too specific because like I said, I don't want to put anybody on blast. I don't want to do anything like that. I want to keep it peaceful. I want to spread love and positivity. But there were certain times, where like we get in situations at like school and then we come back, and just get into an argument over something because I think somebody was doing something else when they really weren't. Right. And then like I'd have a group of friends that'd say something and relay it back. And, when you're in that situation, it's just like, telephone. I don't know if anybody's played that game, but like you say something at the end, the other person has to relay it. And when the first person says something, it could be something crazy, but when it gets to the end, it's something completely different. So that whole time we were in that relationship, we were just hearing different stuff from other people and all that. And it just made everything so much more complicated. So it was already toxic from the start. And then it got to the point to where, we were both being very controlling, really manipulative. We'd hold things against each other, hold a lot of grudges. And unfortunately, it became to where I got really depressed. I wasn't happy in the situation, but I was too scared to leave. And I believe so was she. She just wasn't happy, but we didn't know what to do on our own. We felt like we couldn't do it. We both weren't in a great mindset. We both were fighting demons. And everything's going. Like, everything's going. It's the worst time, middle of high school, tests, friends, and we're trying to make something work. So, it ended up to where I was getting really depressed. And, it'd be like every night, dude. Like, honestly, like every night I'd end up like cutting my wrists, like deep, like almost down to the veins. And I'd just do it every night. And I'd have to go to school just wearing hoodies. And it's just what made me feel something. I just felt numb. We just argued every day. It was so toxic. We were controlling. It was so bad to where I just wanted to feel something. And it was a point to where I was genuinely scared to take my own life because I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know what would happen when I die. Cause I believe in God, but I don't know. Nobody knows what happens when you die. I don't know where I'm going to go. And, I know deep down I have so much potential, and I know somebody listening to this knows they have so much potential. And I'm just telling you to hang in there. Like, if you're going through shit, bro, like really just hang in there, please. Like, stop hurting yourself. Really just breathe and just pull through the situation. Get yourself out the situation if you can, because it's not worth it. I was at a time where I was taking pills. I was ending up in the hospital. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Sorry if I get a little shaky. My voice sounds a little shaky. It's rough to talk about because it was a really big part in my life. But there was one night, me and her were arguing, and it was really really bad. And I posted something on Snapchat, and I was just really depressed. I posted something on Snapchat, and I forget what I said. But that night, obviously I was cutting. It was really bad. My arms were all sliced up, and I was about to take a bunch of pills. And I was on the phone with her, and I was just like, and I think I was just texting her, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't do it. I can't argue anymore. Like, it's not worth it. Like, it's eating me up mentally. I just give up. And I texted my homies, and I was like, yo, that's like, I love y'all for real. Like, I was genuinely done that night. Like, I genuinely gave up. And I guess she called my homies, and they were on the phone, and they were all freaking out. And they're like, nah, like, we can't let this happen. Like, we cannot let this happen. Like, we really care about this kid. Like, I can't just let him go and do that to himself. So they called the police. And the police came in. I think it was like 1 or 2 a.m. Knocked on the door, banged on it. My mom was sleeping. Police, open up. Police, open up. Fucking, my mom ran to the door. What's going on? What's going on? She opens up the door. Is your son Cole here? Is your son Cole here? They had guns and shit. She's like, yeah, he's out on the he's out on the balcony. So they came rushing through the house. There was about 6 of them. And at this time, I had a really bad injury. I was running in a field, and I basically like kind of snapped my hip, like right at your hip bone. Whatever was there kind of popped and it dislocated it, and then I had part of it sling back. So it was a really nasty break. I couldn't walk on it for a while. It was really, really bad. So at that time I was healing. So I was in a cast, I couldn't walk. So I was outside, and I was done. So I was already going through that with that pain plus what I was going through. So I was really just done. Like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't walk. I couldn't see my friends. I couldn't go to school. So like the only thing I could do was sit on my balcony, look at a wall, and just smoke myself to death. So I was like, all right, that's it. I give up. So I was at my lowest of lows. So they come rushing in, see me on my balcony, and I'm sitting there with my leg. I think my leg was up at the time, and I had my bong on the left side of the table, the knife on the right side of the table. Officer shines a light in my face, and he's like, "Hey, are you Cole?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me see your arms." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Give me your fucking arms." And I gave him my arm. He rolled up my sleeve. He saw all the cuts. He's like, "Come on, you're coming with me." I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "You're coming with me." So, he helped me up because obviously I had a giant cast on my leg. I couldn't walk, got my crutches, crutched my way out there, crutched my way out to the police car, ended up putting me in handcuffs and putting me in the front seat and taking me to the hospital. And then they'd evaluate me and, clear me that night. I just kind of talked to somebody and said, yeah, I'm good. I was just going through a really hard time. This is the problem with our system, I will say. At that time, when somebody calls, you're mad, right? You don't like when you're in that situation, you're already upset. So now the police came in and, I was just already in a bad mental state. So I just wanted to get out the hospital. I just wanted to get out the hospital, just go back to my house and just go to bed. I just wanted to restart the day and think it over. And, that's exactly what happened. So, I was in the hospital for I'd say 4 hours. They cleared me. I was like, yo, I'm in so much pain. Like my leg hurts. Like, can y'all just get me out of here so I can go back home? I'm fine. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm fine. I'm not going to do anything. So they end up clearing me. I go back to the house. I smoke. I go right to bed. I wake up the next day and my homies, I look at my phone and my homies just blew up my phone. Like, bro, are you good? Like every single homie. Bro, I'm about to cry. Bro, excuse me. Bro, like every single homie, bro. Every single one of my group homies, bro, they all hit me up and they were like, bro, we love you, bro. Like, we hope you good. Excuse me, guys. He's like, we love you, bro. We hope you good. Like, we want to know we really care about you. Like, whatever you need, you can hit us up. You don't got to go through any of that. And that shit really hit me, bro. Like, having that happen, be at the hospital, I really realized that, people really did care about me. That the relationship I was in, it was just really toxic. It just really got to me mentally. I was at my lowest of my lows. Like, really, like I didn't have any hope in myself. I hated everything about myself. I had no confidence. And, if you're in that type of relationship, no matter you're a male or female, just please get out of it. Like, it's not worth your life. It's not worth anything. I've lost friends, unfortunately, due to suicide, and it hurts. Like, it hurts so much because their pain really does rub off on you. It's really not worth it. And this isn't this, like I said, I want to start again. This isn't a podcast to bash anything about that relationship. I have nothing but respect for that girl and her family. Same thing with the, whatever they got going on. This is just a big part of my life that I really needed to talk about because, it really affected me and there's a lot of people that go through it. If you're going through something, like if you're in a manipulative relationship, just get out of it. Like, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Like, I promise you, it's not the end of the world. Like, you can do it. Like, I promise you, you can do it. You got to keep pushing, motivate yourself every single day. That's kind of the next thing we're going to talk about. Let's get out of this little sad segment. But, motivation was the biggest thing for me. Every single day, I'd make sure I go to the gym to make sure I stay motivated. I'd be angry with myself afterwards. I'd be so angry that I even went to the hospital and that I'd try to take my own life because I started to realize that people really did care about me. I went to I worked out every day. I changed my mindset. Meditation was a really big thing for me. Just sit down and just think. Just really clear your mind and connect with yourself. Find your inner self. It sounds cheesy as shit, but it's true. Like, if you can connect with yourself, you will unlock shit that other people don't have. I promise you that. I have insights and I can tell certain things about people before they even talk to me, just because I've really connected myself deep down within and found out who I am. I found out who I am today, and that's, what made me start this podcast, which, gave me the motivation today. You got to look back on everything. You got to look back on your past and you got to let it boost you instead of break you. Because there was a time in my life, shit with my dad, with my family. And then at the time, with my girlfriend, it broke me and I was at my lowest of my low and I just gave up. And without those handful of, friends, I wouldn't be here, talking to y'all today. So, just keep pushing. Mental health is a big thing, but especially for men, it's just don't let anybody control you in any certain way. Just be your own person. Just just do you no matter what at the end of the day. Like if somebody suggests something, let them suggest it, but don't let anybody tell you what to do. No, nobody. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. Be your own person. With all that being said, man, this was a pretty hard podcast. I've been thinking about doing this one for a while. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you guys want to hear some more stories, like I said, I've been through a lot. I got a lot of really funny stories. I got a lot of really crazy stories. I've had a lot of really bad injuries. So I got crazy stories on that. I got a handful of things, stuff I went through growing up, where I grew up, what I've seen. So you guys can hit up the Instagram at, the Dialed In Podcast. Just go and hit that up. Do it on, comment on one of our last posts. You can comment on the TikTok at Dialed In. And, we can just get some questions going and I'll start answering stuff if you guys want. This is another quote by 365 Mentality. Like, I can't preach it enough. You can follow them on Instagram. They literally have the best quotes daily. Like, they post such good quotes, gives me motivation. It gives a lot of people motivation. I talk to them personally through DMs and stuff. So just really go give them a follow. It's a great page. But today's quote is, some people take you for granted, then realize you were rare. So, I've had a lot of situations where, I've helped every single person I can, but you can't help everybody, Some people are going to take you for granted. Somebody's going to leave you behind. Somebody's going to kick you to the curb. But as long as you stay focused, as long as you realize that what they're doing isn't healthy for you, and then it's not good for the people around you, and you move on, you'll be a positive person overall. And then, you'll feel better overall. Your life will be better overall. And then they'll be the ones hurting. Months go by, they'll be like, where's Cole? Or where's so-and-so? What's he doing? I'll be like, oh shit, that's right. I did this and that. So with that being said, man, I really do love y'all. Y'all can find us at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You guys are listening to the Dialed In Podcast.